April 16, 1972. American combat forces have been committed to the fight in Vietnam for 8 years. Today, 4 U.S. Air Force F-4 Phantoms, call sign Basco, orbit 18,000 feet above Laos. The Phantoms are waiting to escort B-52 bombers into the heart of North Vietnam in a dramatic escalation of the air war. But there's been a mix-up. The B-52s are still on the ground, and the Phantoms are burning fuel at a rate of 150 pounds per minute. To reduce drag, Flight Leader Fred Olmsted orders the Phantoms to jettison their empty centerline fuel tanks. Still, the reduced weight won't buy enough time.
Phantom pilots know that there is nothing that you can do in a Phantom to save that big, beautiful aircraft and burn all the fuel you got. We had to make a decision.
Olmsted has 2 choices. Wait for the B-52s and risk running out of fuel, or use their fuel for the flight's secondary mission, hunting for North Vietnamese MiGs. Olmsted chooses the MiGs, the Blue Bandits. He turns the Phantoms 180 degrees. Basco flight is now on the prowl. Flying number 3 is Olmsted's good friend, Dan Cherry.
Fred makes a turn and heads right for Hanoi. And we start pushing the power up and picking up the speed. And we cross that border into North Vietnam.
Almost exactly at that precise time that we ingressed into North Vietnam from our orbit in Laos, my backseater picked up 2 Blue Bandits.
Basco flight's audio transmissions were recorded, a remarkable historical record of air-to-air combat in Southeast Asia.
Basco has 2 bandits on the nose, F-20. Copy that. The bandits on the nose at 20. Let's get rid of them, Basco.
2 silver MiG-21s are 20 miles out and closing head-on at the Phantoms. Olmsted isn't backing off. He orders Basco flight to stay on course.
They marched right down the radar scope from 18 miles to 12 miles to 10 miles to 8 miles.
I didn't see them at the time, and Fred said, "There's 2 silver MiG-21s there, Dan." And I said something really clever and smart like, "Where?"
The MiG-21 there, Dan. Cover your head, Dan. Oh, joy.
2 Blue Bandits just went by us. And that's when the fight really started.
Olmsted and his wingman give chase. He rolls his F-4 Phantom into a climbing turn and swings around 180 degrees. Olmsted and his wingman are maneuvering to get above and behind the Bandit into a firing envelope. Cherry and his wingman stay in trail, protecting Olmsted's 6 o'clock. Then, Cherry spots a 3rd Bandit, a camouflaged MiG-21, ambushing Fred Olmsted from behind.
We've gone through about 90 degrees of turn when my wingman, Greg Crane, spots the camouflage MiG right off of our nose.
The North Vietnamese have set a trap, and Flight Leader Fred Olmsted is the target. The stage is set for a legendary dogfight. A battle on the cutting edge of a dramatic turnaround in the Vietnam Air War. The silver MiG-21s are here. Olmsted and his wingman are here. The camouflaged MiG streaks in on their tail here, but he doesn't see Dan Cherry right behind him on his 6 o'clock. Cherry and his wingman streak forward and engage the MiG.
I rolled out, saw him, and just headed right for him. And he broke left and went right into a cloud bank.
130 in the cloud, Dan. On our nose, Dan. Reverse back to left. Okay, went in a cloud.
Going into a cloud in North Vietnam is a scary proposition. I'm thinking, man, I don't want to go in that cloud, but I was not going to lose this opportunity either.
For American airmen in the hostile skies of Southeast Asia, an innocent-looking cloud can be a death trap. Vietnamese radar operators can track the F-4s through the clouds to launch surface-to-air missiles against them. The F-4s can electronically detect a SAM launch, but can't visually avoid the missile.
Couldn't stand it any longer, and I said, I'm not staying in this cloud any longer, MiG or no MiG. So I'd look all around, and my wingman confirmed his position. So the feeling then was, we've lost this guy.
Suddenly, Baby Beef calls out. MiG, 2 o'clock, 4,000 feet above, climbing right turn. It's a lucky break. The MiG bursts through the cloud bank, right in front of him.
Oh, we're right behind him now. We're right behind him. We're right behind him.
Cherry peers skyward. The MiG has lost speed in his climb. He's directly in Cherry's killing zone. Cherry pitches his nose up, trying to gain a missile lock. His first MiG kill is right in front of him.
Things seemed to slow down in their motion to where everything became really clear.
Cherry gets good tone. The infrared seeker head of the AIM-9 Sidewinder growls in the pilot's headset when it gets a lock on. Cherry strains to see the missile track. Nothing. He quickly launches a second Sidewinder. Again, no missile track. The missiles have launched, but Cherry doesn't know it. The MiG's high G turn has defeated the missile's seeker head.
I'm really angry. I mean, here's my whole life. I've never seen a MiG this close before. And I have this opportunity to get this guy, and I've got an airplane that's not going to work.
Desperate, the MiG noses over into a spiraling dive. He's hoping that his tight turns will prevent Cherry from getting another lock-on. Cherry and his wingman kick over into a diving chase. From 25,000 feet, the three planes hurtle toward the ground. The Americans have the weight and thrust advantage. Baby Beef has nosed ahead in the dive. Cherry clears him to take the lead, rolling to the outside, making way for his wingman. Beef can't use a heat-seeking Sidewinder. The MiG's turning too tight. He knows it can't lock in a high G turn. He fires a radar-guided Sparrow. Something's wrong. It drops like lead.
Then he fires another one, and it does ignite, but it goes into a huge corkscrew out to the right. Then the third missile he fired, and it was tracking really well. And I thought, man, this is really looking good.
Beef's third missile streaks through the sky. Another radar-guided Sparrow. The Sparrow tracks steadily on the descending MiG. The MiG brakes hard right. The 500-pound missile should follow, but it darts past without detonating. Cherry and Beef have fired 5 missiles. All have failed. Thrust into his first dogfight against an actual MiG-21, Dan Cherry is on a steep learning curve. He races through his options. 2 of his missiles have failed. But he's determined to kill the MiG.
This is going to sound weird, but I'm thinking I'm going to ram this guy. That's the aggressive feeling that I had at the time, was that I was not going to let this guy get away.
The MiG has lost airspeed in the turn. Cherry and Beef pitch up and roll vertical to keep from overshooting. As they descend once again on the MiG, Cherry calls for the lead.
I kept telling Greg to get out of the way, and I'm in burner, and I'm trying to close on him because I'm ready to shoot. I'm ready to try to shoot.
Cherry slides past Crane and fires a missile.
Lo and behold, that big AIM-7 Sparrow comes out of there, and it does one of these kind of like a barrel roll maneuver like this at first.
The Sparrow appears to be tracking off course, but then, to Cherry's relief, it rides the Phantom's invisible radar beam to the target. Its 65-pound warhead detonates, ripping the right wing from the airplane. Cherry watches the plane plummet in a fireball. From the flames, the MiG pilot miraculously appears underneath his parachute. Cherry roars past his vanquished opponent.
I made a little jink with the airplane to miss the MiG pilot and his parachute. We went up by him, well within 500 feet of him. And I remember clearly his legs sticking out straight like this, and the black flying suit he was wearing, the black flying suit on.
Dan Cherry has killed his first MiG.
Roger, understand.